Hey, everybody, Ali Madawi in here. A brand new installment of the ME Show. As your strategic partner, you know I do everything in my power to bring you the best that I can to not only give you some infotainment, if you know what that means, it's information with entertainment. But today we are back to back for the second time in a row on episode number 2 for this exclusive with Abu Qureshi, who is the head trader and co-founder of InalAI, a trading educational platform with an income opportunity attached to it. Now, everything that you're going to be hearing about today, obviously, if we are mentioning any examples, any numbers, any figures, it is just for illustration purposes and educational purposes. Nothing that we've shared about past experiences mean anything for future performances. And I have to share with you to always consult with a mentor, consultant, or any financial advisor or tax advisor if you hear anything related to the prior subjects that I just mentioned. Now, if you know, this gentleman has exposed me for the very first time almost 8-9 years ago to the concept of Forex. The whole time I was like, what is Forex exchange? He goes like, you're saying it wrong. Like Forex is foreign exchange. And it was a whole live, and one thing led to another, and we just stayed in communication. Until recent years, we got the opportunity to kind of collaborate and work together, and things kind of worked out the way it did. And we went our separate ways from a business perspective until recently, where he is now not only the head trader, but he is also the co-founder of InalAI. If you are seeing it in our screens, obviously you can just scan the barcode and you can go ahead and get more information about it, or you just can go to InalAI.io. That is INalai.io. And of course, in any of all the copies of wherever you're watching this, you're going to find this information. So let's get into the meat and potato. First and foremost, my guy, welcome back. We're glad to have you on the show.
Glad to be here.
You excited?
Yeah, bro.
Now you're heading to Egypt next week.
Yeah.
You're going to bring some exciting stuff for InalAI. So I know we talked a whole lot last time about your past and about how InalAI came about and whatnot. I want to dig into the now and the future, and of course a little bit more about you. So first and foremost, this is your first time going to Egypt?
Yeah.
How do you feel about you're going to Egypt? Because I mean, that side of the world is a little bit more of a personal touch for you and I.
Yeah. I'm nervous. I've never been to Egypt, right? I don't know Arabic. And I'm also really excited, because it's a Muslim country. I am Muslim. Yeah. I'm a big foodie, so I know I can eat whatever I want to, but I also have to be careful because that part of the world, you eat the wrong things, you'll be sick for like 3 weeks, right? Last time I went to Pakistan, actually, I came back, and 2 days before I took my flight back, right? Went out to eat with some business partners. The last 6 hours of my flight, bro, got sick, was in the bathroom 24 times. The last 6 hours.
That does not sound fun. Could you imagine, Rich, 24 times? And you're counting 24 times. Yeah. I mean, that means that was a memorable experience.
Yeah. Mind you, in a flight. And what's crazy is I was sitting next to this girl. Everything was going good. I was like, bro, I'm macking, I'm flirting, going to get her number, everything. And then the first second that I was like, bro, I'm shot out. I don't even care about this girl no more, bro.
Yeah, I hear you. So the purpose of your trip to Egypt is for
business. It's going to be for business, talking to a few leaders out there, and it's going to be good. I mean, obviously there's going to be personal time as well, like exploring the pyramids, because I'll be in Cairo. But it's business, 100% business. Yeah.
So what are we anticipating that you can bring back as far as business? I'm trying to get some inside scoop in here. What are we getting back?
The infrastructure of a huge organization coming in, right? The beginning of it. A lot of good leaders. There's a lot of network marketing in the Middle East, especially, is booming. Now, the problem is, it's like what happens here, right? With anything, there's scams, there's this, and a lot of hype companies, a lot of people are with those hype companies, right? And a lot of friends that I've made over the last few years are part of those hype companies, and they don't understand. So one of them was like, basically, hey, I need help. This is what's going on. She just got a divorce. Amazing individual, right? Like I love her to death. And she's like, I'm struggling with money. And I'm like, how big is your organization? She's like, 100 people. I was like, you should be making a lot of money with the right compensation plan.
Right. With 100 people in a system like that. Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm like making this much every month, but I've made this much overall. And I'm like, yeah, but every month you're not making anything, right? So for me, that hurts. I was like, okay, let's talk. And, I was telling her I'm launching a company. I've been telling her since the summer. And she's like, yeah, good for you, right? Like, good luck. She's been telling me no, which is fine. However, once I broke down the numbers for our compensation plan, she's like, all right, let's talk when you get here. Let's have a serious conversation when we get here. Like what you're telling me makes sense. Like I need this and I want this. So like $600 a month extra, right? In the Middle East, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. So like for me, it's like, okay, if we can help people make $600 a month or even $400 a month with what we have, it's like game over.
No, 100%. Well, and one thing that I want to dig into, you've mentioned there's a lot of hype companies out there. So obviously, we're not going to take a dig or mention any company name or what have you, but I would love to kind of have a conversation on, in your opinion, and I'll tell you mine, but in your opinion, what do you consider a hype company? Like, what are some of the things that people are to look at that, like, bro, you are in the wrong company and it's just driven by hype versus having valid offers, valid products and services, and of course, valid compensation that would be worth your time and your reputation as well?
So for me personally, if there's a company that it's like, it has multiple different packages and the top package is like $1,000 to $3,000, right? But the only way you get paid the most is if you get the $3,000 package. But if you get like the $200 package or the $50 package, whatever the case may be, you're getting paid like 2% compared to if you get the $1,000 package with $400 a month auto ship or rebuy, you're getting paid 20%. In my opinion, like that, I don't like that type of stuff. Like for me, that's like, because majority of people aren't coming in on the $2,000 a month package or whatever the price may be. Majority of people are coming in, they're entering network marketing, they're looking for opportunities, they're struggling, they want to get ahead, they're looking for a way out. And like all these companies are like, okay, you're looking for a way out, but you got to dig, right? We're going to dig at you. We're going to dig at your pockets. I don't like that. For me, when I got introduced to the industry, the thought process was, or what was installed in my beliefs was passive income. A lot of network marketing companies are like, you recruit, we'll pay you up front, but not on the passive side, right? And we'll pay you.
It's promoted as if there is passive, but it's really performance based on your behavior.
Yeah. And majority of people who are making the passive income are the people at the top. Of course, they're going to make money, right? Where it's like someone who can bring in 100 people, 50 people, they'll make money up front. However, it's like passively, they're not earning anything.
Like, go do it again.
Keep doing it again until you can build up a reputation and be at the top. And it's a whole bunch of like schemes.
which is not educated, or at least the expectation is not there. I'll tell you on my end, man, one of the things that bites on my head, and we've had so many conversations, so much happened in the last 7 days, for me, and I saw multiple companies over the last couple of years. I directly was VP of sales of one, and I resigned after 6 months. And one prior to that, I was consulting for about 4 months and got stiffed for 2. And then I resigned. And then everybody was like, bro, like, why are you leaving? Like, why are you leaving? And that's because everybody was into the hype. And I warned and warned. I'm like, here's the thing, man. I'm a businessman before being a network marketer, right? I learned, thank God, in traditional business, all my fundamentals of business. And I look at the individual that is, first of all, leading the pack, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that always captures my attention that I warn or forewarn people about is he promoting the opportunity or the education?
Right.
Because one thing that you and I talked about last episode, you talked about, you can find this information on YouTube.
Of course.
But what you won't find is the mindset, is the heart set, is those different elements that you talked about, right? Is that individual educating you on taking a skill that you can live with without me forever, or I'm hyping you up that you're always connected to and holding on to my pocket, that no matter what, you need me. And that requires a sense of, repurchasing or ownership or whatever the case may be. It is, right? So for me, is the individual leading, educating you on developing yourself in all different areas that you can move on with your life with or without me.
Right.
Because I believe that's the true value. If you can show me how I can grow into my own space, dude, I don't want to leave you. I want as much as possible.
Of course.
The problem is I might give you 2-3 months of like, okay, I'm committed. And then eventually I'm like, bro, I did everything this guy told me to do. Like, this is me talking in my head, right?
Right.
And I worked hard, and I went to the conventions, and I did everything, and I'm still not able to figure this thing out.
Right.
I'm going to start having some questions, you know, and then I'll end up in YouTube and I'm like, why am I paying you $97 a month if I just found this information on YouTube, right? The second element is the person hypey in their lifestyle. Like, what car do I drive?
I don't even know. I never asked. We never had the conversation.
What car have you ever seen me drive in the last 10 years?
I've never seen you.
Okay. Nobody, like, I'm not that guy, right? Like, I'll brag about my wife but you don't even know what kind of, you know. And I do that intentionally because, like everybody else, I have ups and I have downs. Like 2023, we lost $150,000. Yeah, and most of it was just bad people in our life. He's smiling because he's like, "Yep, we took a hit." But here's the thing: I talk about that part. The problem when I'm going back to the hypey person that is leading the way. That person doesn't tell you that he's hurting in his pocket. That person doesn't tell you the problems and the issues that are relatable. And I think they're important to say, I'm just like you. I struggle as well, but I know how to get right back on top. That will be attractive, right? You have the so-called, I insist on this, traders who are just hype marketers and pretend to be traders. And, you know, they'll flash a watch that, you know, they got on a network marketing company, you know, back in 2007. And they're like, oh, the Rolex and all that life. That's cool. But what value are you offering in the life of the individual? And please, that person who is listening to me right now, there's two of you. There's one that is in the company right now. You need to evaluate these things that I'm telling you because it makes a difference. We have seen and have been part of companies that have demolished people's lives. People who have sold their homes. And company owners just burned them, left them like, you know, based on promises. People who have exhausted their 401ks, literally, because they were going to be traded. A guy that I know that sold his business for $750,000 and said, all right, here we go, chief. I'm going to put it on a broker account. Let's go.
Is he in Texas?
I can't, if I say where he is, I'm gonna be giving it up, and out of respect for him, I want to keep. But so let's just say he is in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, but the point is, evaluate the person and their core values. Listen, if somebody made mistakes in the past, I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes. We all have. We've had bad judgments, right? That's okay. I'm okay with mistakes and bad judgments. What I'm not okay with, if you're a sociopath-like behavior. If you burn so many people from company to company to company, and then you go right back into another company and post, hey, big news, big revelations, I am excited to announce, and you're doing it all over again. I'm coming after you. I'm going to expose you. As a matter of fact, we met, do we break it down? Did we agree on it, Rich? Are we doing it? Yeah. We're doing it. Okay, we're doing it. So we're going to start a podcast series called MLM Horror Stories. And this is not a new channel. It's just in this very same channel, a podcast series. It is going to be multiple stories from our past. And we're not going to go into a defamation character or nothing like that. We're just going to expose what's already being documented and make sure that you, the viewer, get the opportunity to be like, oh, I know that guy. Maybe I shouldn't be in his company. And if you're pissed at me, that one guy, don't be mad at me because you robbed the bank. You robbed the bank. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're digging a little bit more on this new software and technology that Abu is bringing into the marketplace. And of course, on his goals and ambitions from an impact that he's going to create. We'll be right back.
A world of knowledge is right at your fingertips. Beyond our signature Great Discovery course, we offer a treasure trove of impactful learning courses across a multitude of subjects. Elevate your success with courses crafted by global experts. Accessible in 140+ countries with real-time translations in most languages. Enjoy an affordable monthly membership. Get unlimited course access and have exclusive discounts. Embrace opportunities. Earn as you learn with our affiliate program. Be part of our vibrant community. Learn, share, teach, or do it all. Unleash your true potential today. It's all about you. Escape no omdik. Es todo acerca de ti. 都是关于你的. È tutto su di te. Il n'est question que de toi. Welcome to the Great Discovery.
As we're coming back, the question that I was just asked on the break, did that guy go to jail? No, he started another company. It's a $220 million company today. Private jets and living the life.
What?
Coming soon in MMM Horror Stories. Anyway, so let's dig into your trip in Egypt. And, before we started today's episode, you mentioned Hawkeye. Do you want to dig into that a little bit and kind of educate?
Yeah. So back in my first trading company, somebody on my team by the name of Steve Gregory, he was so trading Forex has been available for 33 years. He was trading for 30 years.
That's crazy. Like that for almost 90% of my life, this concept existed, and most of us still don't know about it.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like I mentioned, his name's Steve Gregory. He passed away, I believe, like 2 years ago. When I was talking to John about it, John was like, "Bro, I know Steve. Steve is a legend. I love Steve." And I was like, "Yeah, bro." He was on my team in that company, and he like personally mentored me. And a lot of the things that he mentioned, because at that time I was young, just dots weren't connecting. It was my priorities were not making money and helping people. Although on like Facebook, that's what it was, but intentionally, in like my intentions, it was like a little bit of everything, right? Like obviously, I wanted to see people win, but it was like, hey, if I could do this instead of this, I'd do this, right? And a long story short, as I started really getting invested into trading, a lot of the things he said to me started to make sense. Like one of the things he said, the smaller your stop loss, the more money you can make. And I was just like, that's really interesting. And another thing that he used to say is like, I'll make more money catching 10 pips than people will catching 200 pips, that people will make catching 50 pips, 100 pips. And then I started applying within the last like year. And I'm like,
so that goes back to the concept of like small steps.
Yeah.
Are gonna go further instead of that giant leap, which that's interesting that it's simple enough, yet you're like, I gotta learn some more because there's a lot that I don't know.
Yeah. And basically when it clicked, I was like, this is what he was talking about. So Hawkeye basically takes that strategy, right, of pitchforks, and we connected Fibonacci's with it. Mind you, Hawkeye pitchforks already has Fibonacci's installed in it, but we installed another layer of Fibonacci's on it. You see an X, you're gonna buy or you're gonna sell.
So obviously we need a lot more than one session to talk about Fibonacci. And if you could just for the one is like, I'm lost, what is Fibonacci? Right. How could you describe it in the simplest format possible?
The best way to describe it is how on an organic level from the universe, how things grow. Meaning this watch I'm wearing, the watch you're wearing, it just didn't become a watch. First, it was like this little button, then this button, then this button, then this button, then this, and then it started to grow. So Fibonacci is the numbers or the pattern or a code per se, a universal code on how things expand. And the market's always expanding. It's always growing. It's going up and down, even to the side, but it's expanding. So we're basically using that code, that universal code, to trade on top of everything else that Pitchforks has to offer, which ultimately it has like 6 to 8 different strategies, depending on what you believe. Some people are like, this isn't valid or this isn't valid. I validate it all because I use it all, but it's so powerful. And because it has all these different strategies, whether you think it's 6 or 8, whatever you believe, but it has a high accuracy rate. And that's the powerful part about it. You see an X in the market, you're buying or you're selling, khalas, which means which means done in Arabic. That's it. Right. You're in the market. You lose, that's fine. Like it's very like 4 pips stop loss, 5 pips stop loss, right? Because that's the strategy. But that 4 pip, 5 pip stop loss will give you a 10 pip take profit, 15 pip take profit, which in like trading language, that's a 1-to-3 ratio,
correct,
1-to-4 ratio, which is huge, right? And for me, I started trading on the 5-minute, which it's funny, like a year and a half ago, I'm like, why would people trade on the 5-minute time frame? Like, this is so stupid. I hate looking at the 15-minute time frame now. I hate looking at the hour. Like I will if I have to, but I just strictly trade on the smaller time frames now because I'm in and out of the market, catch my 10, 15 pips and just enjoy my life. And it's so powerful. And like, I look back at it, I'm like, dang, like Steve was a fucking genius. Holy cow. Like, thank God. And again, like I was young at the time, so I couldn't take advantage of like the opportunity I was in, right? I was like 20, I was 22, 21.
Dude, you're still growing. You're going through an experience of growth yourself.
Yeah. And not even that, like I had a lot of challenges growing up. So like my growth was like 3 steps back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas in like the last 3-4 years, I'm like, okay, I took like 20 steps forward, right? Like made that time up back and then some, especially last year. And so for me now, I'm like, dang, man, I wish I could have taken advantage of it. However, now I am. And it's like, no, we need to like teach this strategy to people, and not just this strategy, but the software, right? And it's so powerful. And it's like, it gives you stop loss, it gives you take profit, but it gives you stop loss and take profit from an organic level, right? Not like, oh, this is what I think is going to happen. Yeah, you still have to apply that, but it'll give you everything. And for me, that's what it's like. It's super powerful, right?
And Hawkeye allows you to kind of use artificial intelligence as a guiding measure to make these decisions.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it is still artificial intelligence and human intelligence, right? It's not like it's an autopilot.
Yeah, no, it's not autopilot. You have to use your brain. We have trainings on it. We have live sessions on it. So you're going to use a little bit of everything. But once you get it, right? Like one of the things that I was always taught is like trade with the trend. If the market's going up, don't put in sells. However, with Hawkeye, you can't afford to do that because you're scalping, you're in and out of the market. Now, with that being said, for those individuals who are trading on the hour, the 4 hour, the bigger time frames, you can apply Hawkeye to the bigger time frames as well. And you can day trade with it. You can swing trade with it. And obviously the bigger time frames have a much higher accuracy and winning percentage. So for me, that's like, I can do a little bit of everything. There is a lot bit more patience involved with the 4 hour or the hour or the daily time frame, 100%. So for me, it's like, okay, if I can get into trades daily, because you'll find a setup daily with Hawkeye on the 5 minute, 100%. You'll find a few, but on the 4 hour, the hour, you might find 2-3 per week, right? Which is still fine. You'll still get into some really powerful trades with that.
Love it. Well, I hope you are ready, because this should be in the market within
probably a week.
Within a week, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have him back in here, because what's the beauty about having Abu around the corner is Abu is out of New Jersey, and that's a beautiful thing. I know last episode he was talking about considering leaving the country. But until then, we're going to try to juice as much time out of him as possible to come back and give you as much value. As a matter of fact, we're even working together on evaluating how he actually, along with us, start a channel for InalAI and just giving you value on an ongoing basis. So more on that as we come after the commercial break. We'll be right back. All right. So before I get into this third component and area, I just want you to know when Abu starts talking, the camera is to go off on me because I'm gonna be eating a cookie. All right, Rich. Just want to make sure. Do not put the camera on me because. And by the way, we have a 12-gram protein cookie on the table, so
Don't worry, we're zooming right in.
we're zooming right in. All right, cool. Sounds good to me. Anyways, let's talk about you're going to Egypt. You're coming back strong with a new team, new market established. You're coming back with Hawkeye established and ready to launch. And talk to me about the next 30, 60, 90 days. What are your personal ambitions within the company and goals? And then, of course, what are you hoping to achieve within the marketplace? Now, camera off, cookie come in.
So when I come back, the plan is to go immediately, if not immediately, a week after, to Mexico to work with a few of my Mexican leaders and get them going, get the ball going there. Personally speaking, we want to put in the next 90 days, 1,000 to 3,000 people. That is my personal goal, right? In the US, we'll see what happens. Little by little, we're working on that. It's just a matter of, everything we've talked about over the last week, just making sure like all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Because obviously I don't want to go to jail. Nobody wants to go to jail.
You're still pretty for jail.
Yeah, 100%. And internationally, get the copy trader going, which is good to go. And just have a really high retention rate. Personally speaking, in the next 90 days, so after February, it's Ramadan, right? So April, I want to just go on tour for like 2-3 months, like nonstop. Like you tour, you go here, you launch, 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 right? So that's personally what I want to do. And the people who are getting started with us today, within the next 90 days, I want to have them up and running and most importantly, profitable. So yesterday was the first day. I think we spoke about this in like the last time we got on a Zoom call with Alex. Yesterday was the first day in a month and a half we had a losing day, right? The market our strategy it was.
By the way, give me camera back. Cookie's gone. Did you just hear what just happened? This is what I'm talking about, where most knuckleheads out there, they don't talk about the losing day. They'll just talk about, oh, we're winning streak. And then it's like that guy's like, yo, do you invest in Bitcoin? Yeah, when Bitcoin hits that 43K, you're talking about it.
Yep.
But when it dips, radio silence. So kudos to you for actually bringing that. So there are losing days. You're not always going to win.
Of course. No, you're not, right? And some days the strategy works, but you're so emotional, you'll close out early.
Yeah.
I have had that happen, but the strategy still works. So yesterday we lost. And one of the things that I said on the call is like, listen, we lost as professionals. I'll take this out any day of the week because we lost as professionals, right? Like we proper risk management, proper trading rules. Everything was good. Like we lost, right? Like it's all good. But you take that L as a champion, right? Now, I told everyone on the call, if you over risked, if you're risking 20%, 30%, 40% of your account, you're hurting. You are pissed. You are like, you're raging right now. In your mind, you want to revenge trade. In your heart, you want to do this. You want to punch the screen. However, if you lose, no, for real. But like personally speaking, I lost 3% yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Who cares, right? 97%, right, is still there. Like, who cares? Like, I'll take that 3% loss 3 days in a row, 5 days in a row. Right? I wouldn't want to, but just saying.
I get what you're saying. The goats embrace the L's because they understand it's just a learning curve to get to the W's.
Yeah. And then again, it's the first loss in a month and a half. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, who cares?
Yeah. So as far as the 1,000 to 2,000 individuals that you want to see in the business, what is the game plan? Having an incentive, a founders program? Like, is there anything like that you guys are considering? Or
we are. Not to bring Morocco in this.
Oh.
But we do want to do like a leaders trip in Morocco because a lot of the leaders we have.
Bro, you know he's doing, Rich. You know what he's doing, right?
No.
This is his way of like, let's wheel him in. Go on.
No. This was already in the plan because here's why. We wanted to do Egypt, but because Egypt is so close to the war that's happening in the Middle East, people feel uncomfortable, right? When I first told my mom I'm going to Egypt, she's like, huh? Like, you're going to get kidnapped. I'm like, come on, bro. This is the first thing that goes through your mind. So it's like Morocco is much safer from that point of view. So it's like people in Europe can go there easily. People in the Middle East can go there easily. And people in Africa can go there easily because right now, that's like the hub, like Africa and the Middle East. So it's like, if we do it in Dubai, the African leaders aren't going to get passports or visas to go there because the government's just scared they're going to leave Africa and just never go back, right? And this is something that happens in the Middle East as well.
It happens in the side of the border in the United States too.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, what's the most convenient spot that's also nice, luxurious?
Yeah.
You know, good weather, good people. And it's like Morocco, right? Good food. Never had Moroccan food, but it looks bomb. So
yeah. So yeah, Morocco, way to go. It's the way to go.
Yeah.
Do you know when that's possible? I asked because we're supposed to go to Morocco in June.
I have no idea.
Late June, early July, we're expected to go to Morocco I promised my son. He says, Papa, we went to Colombia, we went to Jamaica, we went to Bahamas, we went to Mexico. When are you going to take me to Morocco? You talk about you grew up in Morocco, and I know where mom grew up, and I don't know where you grew up. So when are we going to go to Morocco? I'm like, boy, who raised you? You know, like
June, July is going to be hot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Arizona hot. No, it's you want to go to Morocco just so you know, Morocco is not in the equator. Right. So if you go southern of Morocco, oh yeah, it's gonna be 120 degrees. Okay. But you know, it's still tropical enough that you know 37 degrees Celsius. So would be still it's like New Jersey, 96, 97. I don't know. It's like hanging out in a perfect summer day in Jersey. Yeah. But anyway, so okay, good. As far as the person, right, Abu, right, the personal growth, right, the personal development, the leadership development that you see yourself where you are right now as a co-founder and executive, where you would want to see yourself in 90 days.
In 90 days
for you personally, yeah.
I want to have a 7-figure prop firm. If not 7 figures, I want to have like at least $500,000 prop firm, multiple of them. That's for me personally. That's my personal goal. I don't show anyone I don't.
They're ringing the alarm for you now, and they're like, whoop whoop whoop, 7-figure prop firm. That is that hard to get?
If you don't know what you're doing and you're gambling, yeah. But if you're just doing 1% per day, right, making 1% per day, no, you should be getting you should be leveling up every 15 days, right? Which is realistically like the goal, like breaking it down with our strategy, with Hawkeye, with everything, doing the math. It's like 20 trading days in a week, right? Even if you lose 5 of them every single month, you should be making enough to get to the next level. So the way that it works with prop firms, right? You start at like level 1, which is, this is the one that I'm using, right? It's $25,000, right? Once you make 10% return on investment on that, you go to level 2, which is 90K. You make 10% on that, would you go to level 3, which is 180, then 10% on that. So every 10% you go to the next level, right? And the way that we broke it down with our strategy and Hawkeye and everything between, if you are doing proper risk management, you're not gambling, you're not doing anything crazy, because the prop firms do have rules that you have to trade with. Like if you break the rules, they're going to close trades, they're going to do this, they'll take the account from you. So if you're doing like professional,
because it's still their money that you
of course. There's bro, you already know there's knuckleheads that'll risk 80%. Imagine you owning a prop firm and a knucklehead is risking 80% of the account to make 5%. You know what I mean? You look at that draw and you're going to go crazy. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? So because of people like that. However, once you start leveling up, they're a lot more lenient with the rules, because they're like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing, right? So point being, it's like, even if you lose 5 days out of the month, right? The 15 days that you are winning, you're making 1%, 2%, whatever the case may be, you'll be leveling up to the next level with the prop firms. So that's personally my goal, right? And like, from the company standpoint and everything combined, like my mindset, like, have you ever watched that interview with Tom Brady and Patrick Bet Davis? Have you watched that interview?
Which one? What was he referring to? Because that may give me.
It's just his career and like his mindset on playing football and everything like that.
I saw bites and pieces of it when he was talking about like he sees you as he'll make sure that you're his enemy in his mindset. Yeah.
I used to hate Tom Brady until I saw that
clip.
Yeah, no, until I saw that interview, bro. I was like, this is me. This is literally how I think, right? And it was one of those things where I was like always scared to like think like that, right? But in my mind, I'm like, yo, like business is war. Like if you and I are in business together, there's other companies that want to take us down. So it might not be an actual war, but they want to hurt you.
I mean, their goal is to dominate the marketplace. And how do you do that? I got to take you out in order for me to take that marketplace.
Exactly. So it's like not just like physically, financially, emotionally, spiritually, like that. And for me, it's like, oh, you're my brother, you're my family. It's war. You know what I mean? We're coming for fucking everything. So like when I saw that, I'm like, oh no, it's okay. Like the greats actually think like this. It's okay to do this, right? You just got to have. Patrick Davis talked about this. He said you need to have controlled madness, right? And I'm like, and I saw that, I'm like, oh, and this is why I love you, because like people like you and Alton, where it's like, I don't like. We got on a call maybe 2 weeks ago. You were like, I was like, this is the individual I'm thinking about bringing on board. You were like, no, this happened. As soon as Ali said no, because of X, Y, and Z reason, I didn't even hesitate. I didn't do anything. I was like, I'm not bringing him on board. He's been calling me this last week.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
Yeah. I didn't pick up the phone, didn't text him back, nothing. I can show you, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's very few individuals I actually look up to, especially men, right? Like women, it's like this as well. But for men, it's like we don't call somebody a leader unless we actually believe they're better leaders than us. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, F you, man, or you'll leave a $250 million company when you have ownership in it. So it's like, as soon as Ali said no, it's like, no, man, like I'm not doing it. So my going back to what I was saying, it's like, that's why I love people like you and Alton and Joel, where it's like, you guys can control the madness. Where I'm like, I want to go to war. Like, how fucking dare you say that about Ali? How fucking dare you say that about my family? How dare you do that to me when I like had nothing but love for you, right? So for me, that's where my mentality is at right now, where it's like the energy and especially with like the manifestation and everything like that. I'm just using like the madness energy to like manifest, and like little by little things are clicking and clicking. I'm like, yo, I'm fucking coming for everything. Like I really am. Like, yo,
that one clip, by the way, took a lot of bites. Everybody's like, yo, what is he talking about? I'm like, yo, you need to go to his website. You need to follow. You need to check him out. You know, there's some press releases coming out or whatnot. Yeah. Now, and I appreciate that. I match that energy, and you know, I believe in emotional intelligence at its finest. Yeah. Within emotional intelligence, you have to know, as Peter, what's his name? His name is
Patrick Bet Davis.
No, Peterson, Jordan
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, he says it's better that you are able and capable to be dangerous and not use it. Yeah. They need to use that, you know, defensive mechanism, martial arts and whatnot, and not have that skill. Yeah. You know, I'll tell you from a personal experience, my mixed martial arts experience, man. I'll give you an example. I am not a fighter at all. Like I'm the first guy. Like if people bump heads in the club and whatnot, I'm like, babe, we out. Let's go. It's not even worth my time. We out of here. As a matter of fact, I get a private section. And I don't touch no bottles or nothing, even if we got to have minimum 2 bottles or whatever. I'm like, I just so I don't bump into anybody, right? And I shared that with you to tell you, after my mixed martial art experience, bro, like I have more of a control, but there's a little bit in the back of my mind, like, I dare you.
I wish you would.
Let me just show my wife one time that I didn't walk away. Please say what's your problem. I'll be like, I want to show you what my problem is, you know? But the point being is, it's a different mindset that I know that I'm equipped. Yeah. And I don't have to use that, you know, ammunition, rather than needing the ammunition. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Might as well just surrender. So I am coming for everything. Okay. So you are going to head up to Egypt. You're going to do what you're going to do, and you're going to come back and you're going to report back live to us on what happened, how it happened. And we're going to hold you accountable to the greatness that you shared with us today.
Say less.
You know, because we respect, love the heck out of you. And that also comes with a sense of accountability. I have one last question for you before we wrap it up. And I permission to press on this question. This is a little bit of a challenging question, but I think the people would appreciate it, because I don't BS my way through anything. And if it goes here, we talked and we covered a lot about different leaders, or leaders who might not necessarily be equipped to do the wrong thing, right? As an end user of InalAI, can you share with me, Abu, why would I trust you as that leader who is not going to burn the house like everybody before you has done?
Right. So
that's a fair question.
Yeah,
right?
That's a fair question. I mean, it's hard to say that, because at the end of the day, if you don't know me, you don't know me, right? And I could say whatever I want to say in the world, right? So it's like, in my opinion, that's a really hard question, because no matter what I say, and I'm just looking at from my point of view, because we see this at like on social media all the time. It's like, no matter what you say, you still don't know me, right? I would say the only thing is I say this often, right? InalAI is a company that is for the people, built by the people, because we are the people. Like, I'm not like I don't even wear a watch. The only reason I wore this watch today is because Ali wore his watch. Right. I had to whip this watch out because I was in my feelings last week, and I'm like, I gotta remind myself who the fuck I am, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only reason.
And nothing wrong with loving yourself, my guy.
Yeah, and it was like, and again, like going through all these challenges, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But other than that, it's like, I'm simple, man. Like when I eat like food at home, like, I don't know if it's a thing in Morocco, I think it is, but I sit down on the floor and eat, right? Like, I don't need to be on a chair. I don't like, just simple things, like simple living, right? And even like, that's just who I am, right? And I've been burned, I've been hurt. So it's like, I just want to create like this whole thing, this whole project, this whole company, this whole community. We created to genuinely help people. I would give everything out for free. I don't care, right? Like, I don't care. But however, here's the thing. Majority of people don't value free things.
Correct.
I don't know why. I don't know the psychology behind it, but we don't respect it, right? That's just the way it is. And looking back at it, I'm the same way. If I pay for something, right, I'm going to make sure like I come here, compared to if Ali's like, I'll do a, I'll no, let's not use you as an example, because I respect you, right? Say somebody X, Y, and Z was like, hey, I will come in and consult for you for free. And it's like, why? You know, why would you do it for free? Right? Like, I don't know.
Well, let me say this.
Yeah.
The first time when I was like, hey, let me interview you. And I remember you were like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why is this guy just putting me on and promoting me and whatnot? And then it cultivated into, I genuinely, same back then until today, I just believe in you. Even a couple of days ago, I was like, hey, no matter what happened, whether we do business or not, bro, you can count on me. I got your back. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
So I get it why, that question mark would be. And as I tell everybody, like, don't offer anything free, but feel free to give complimentary things.
Right.
Because complimentary, you paid for it.
Right.
Just make sure they know, like, hey, the cookies on the table aren't free.
Right.
Someone paid for them.
Right.
You just get to enjoy the benefit of that, someone who took care of that for you. And I think many of us make a mistake by not educating the receiving component or element or human that, hey, I took care of that for you, instead of, oh, it's free. There's more where that comes from.
Right.
And most people have the free food mentality. Like, oh, dude, free food. Let's just keep eating. It's not free. Somebody paid for it.
Right.
Yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
No. I will say this. I'm doing everything I can to make sure he's a part of InalAI. Like, I am doing everything that I can. Both of these guys right here. Because there's very few people in life that I look back at. I'm like, yo, these guys had my back since day one.
Yeah.
Looking at like last year, bro, I did business with people who like held me as a baby in my hands, right? Screwed me over in my other businesses, right? Got my heart broken, got my fucking soul broken. Fuck a heartbreak, right? And learning
scarred for life.
Yeah, bro. Go with like learning about spirituality and all these things. I was like, that's the game that was being played. It's like I'm being introduced to the game, like, and I figured this out in the last like month and a half. I'm like, was not even aware of a game that was being played spiritually, and I'm like, drove me crazy for 2 years, bro. Now that I know it, I'm like, bro, what the. You know what I mean? So point being, it's like there's very few people who genuinely have your back, right? There's very, very, very few people. And that's why it's like it's like in my mind, I was like, there's no way I would want to do this without you. You know what I mean? Because one of the things in that one company that happened with that one guy that we talked about, that I loved what we talked about, it's like, yo, we're not doing business, we're doing life. And for me, like, this is what InalAI is. It's like, yo, we're doing life. Like, I don't care if you make money. Obviously, I want you to make money, but it's not about the money. What I care is about you healing, right? Because I've been scarred. I've been hurt. I've been emotionally damaged. I've been used. I've been abused, right? And it's like that healing journey sucks, but it's so fucking beautiful. It's so fucking powerful. And that's trading. I continuously say that. And if you guys are watching this on social media or live podcasts and you're in my live trading rooms, you hear me say that so much, right? Like, you got to heal, you got to forgive, you got to do this, right? Because that's trading. That's ultimately what it is, right? Like, you don't do that, you're going to hurt people that you love and care about. So again, it's all connected. But point being, there's very few people who actually have your back, regardless of this, and this, right? And with that being said, business is business. You know what I mean?
You are for profit, and you got to create an opportunity that is for profit. So therefore, there needs to be business earnings, but at the same time, your core values and your driving forces need to be with the right moral compass. With that, we're going to wrap it up for today. And I can promise you he will be back after Egypt. I cannot wait until he reports. I have an incredible new episode coming up the following week that we're recording with Ali Saleh, which that is another exclusive that you're not going to want to miss out on. We've done a breaking news on his case with a company that he was with. It's all public information, and we're not necessarily going to dig into the legalities of the component, but there's a lot to be taught about his experience and where he was, where he is right now, and what he's developing. And that's going to be next episode. Until then, make sure that you visit InalAI.io. It's right in a copy of this post, or if you are watching right now, you can just zoom in. There's a barcode right in the corner that you can scan. It'll take you right to the website itself. Of course, make sure that you reach out and you connect with the contact points of the individuals that we have in copy for anything that you need. And with that, we appreciate and love you. Until next time, a Tal and peace out, everybody.